Most people don't quit because they are weak. They quit because they are tired, confused, and quietly frustrated. You start something with energy, a goal, a dream, a routine. For a few days, maybe a few weeks, you feel unstoppable. You wake up early, you push yourself, you believe this time will be different. Then reality shows up. You don't see results. Things feel repetitive. Your body feels heavy. Your mind starts asking dangerous questions. Is this even worth it? Why am I doing all this? Maybe this isn't for me. And slowly, without even realizing it, you start slowing down. You delay things. You skip one day, then another. And eventually, you stop. Not because you couldn't do it, but because you got tired before you were done. My name is Wally, and this story is about a boy who faced the same problem, but learned something that most people never understand. His name was Dev. Dev lived in a small village on top of a hill. It was a peaceful place, quiet, simple, but it had one serious problem. There was no water, no wells, no river, nothing. The only source of water was far below the hill, where a narrow river flowed between rocks. Every single day, someone had to go down, fill water, and carry it all the way back up. For most people, this was just a task. For Dev, it was responsibility. His mother was weak and often sick. She couldn't walk long distances, and there was no one else to do it for them. So every morning, before the sun fully rose, Dev picked up 2 empty buckets and started walking down the hill. The path was rough, steep, uneven, covered with loose stones. Going down was easy, but coming back up, that was the real battle. With both buckets full, the weight pulled his shoulders down. His arms burned. His steps became slower, and with every few steps, water would spill. At first, Dev didn't think much about it. This is my duty, he told himself. But days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And slowly, the burden started growing, not just on his body, but in his mind. One day, halfway up the hill, his legs started shaking, his grip weakened, and some water spilled out. He stopped, breathing heavily, staring at the ground. Then he looked up. The top still felt so far away, and something inside him broke. "I can't do this every day," he whispered. "I'm tired." For the first time, he didn't feel strong. He felt stuck. He dropped the buckets on the ground and sat on a rock. His shoulders hurt. His hands were sore. His mind was full of frustration. Why me? Why do I have to do this? What's the point if I keep losing water anyway? At that moment, quitting felt reasonable, not dramatic, not emotional, just logical. And that's how most people quit. Not with big decisions, but with small justifications. As Dev sat there, lost in his thoughts, he heard a voice behind him. Thinking of leaving it here? Dev turned. An old man was standing there, calm, steady, as if he had been watching him for a while. His name was Ram. He was known in the village as someone wise but quiet. He didn't talk much. But when he did, people listened. Dev looked at him and said honestly, "I'm tired. This doesn't make sense. I carry water all the way up, and half of it spills before I even reach home." Ram didn't argue. He didn't give a motivational speech. He simply walked closer, looked at the buckets, then at the path behind them. "Walk with me," he said, confused but curious. Dev stood up. They started walking slowly down the hill. Ram pointed to the ground. "Look carefully." At first, Dev didn't notice anything, but then he saw it. On one side of the path, there were small green plants, tiny flowers, patches of life. On the other side, dry soil, nothing. Ram asked, "Have you ever wondered why this side is alive and the other is not?" Dev stayed silent. Ram continued, "Every day, as you walk up, water spills from your buckets. You think it's waste. You think it's failure." He paused, then looked directly at Dev. "But that wasted water is the reason these plants are alive." Dev looked again, more carefully this time. It was true. All those small spills, all those drops he thought were useless, they had created something. Ram spoke again, his voice calm but sharp. "You are focused on what you are losing, not on what you are creating." Dev didn't respond, because deep down, he knew that wasn't just about water. It was about him, his effort, his struggle, his frustration. Ram picked up one of the buckets and handed it to him. "The hill is not the problem," he said. "The weight is not the problem." Then he added, "Your thinking is." Dev frowned slightly. Ram continued, "You want the work to feel easy. You want results without loss. You want progress without pain." He shook his head. "That's not how life works." They started walking back up again, slowly, step by step. Ram didn't rush, and this time, neither did Dev. After a few steps, Dev said quietly, "But I still get tired." Ram smiled slightly. "Of course you do." Then he said something Dev would never forget. "You are supposed to get tired." Dev looked at him confused. Ram continued, "Tired means you are working. Tired means you are pushing your limits. Tired means you are doing something that matters." He stopped walking, turned toward Dev. "But most people misunderstand this feeling. They think tired is a signal to stop." He shook his head again. "No, tired is a signal that you're not done yet." Silence filled the path, only the sound of their footsteps and the slight movement of water in the buckets. As they reached halfway, Dev's arms started hurting again. His breathing became heavy. The same feeling came back, the same voice in his head. "Stop!" He slowed down. Ram noticed, but didn't say anything immediately. After a few seconds, he asked, "So, what will you do now?" Dev didn't answer, because this time, it wasn't about the hill, it wasn't about the buckets, it was about a decision. He looked up, still far. He looked down, also far. Then he closed his eyes for a second and remembered his mother, waiting, depending on him. Then he remembered the plants, growing, because he didn't quit before. He opened his eyes, took a deep breath, adjusted his grip, and took another step. Then another, slow, heavy, but forward. Ram nodded slightly and continued walking beside him. No more words, because the lesson was already happening, not in talking, but in doing. Finally, after what felt like forever, they reached the top. Dev gently placed the buckets down. His arms were shaking. His body was exhausted. But something inside him felt different. Not relief, not happiness, something stronger. Clarity. Ram looked at him and said, "Remember this moment. You didn't reach here because you felt strong. You reached here because you didn't stop when you felt weak." Then he turned and started walking away. But before leaving, he said one last thing. "Don't stop when you're tired, Dev. Stop when you're done." That day changed everything. The hill didn't become easier. The buckets didn't become lighter. Dev still got tired, every single day. But now, he understood something most people don't. Tired is not the enemy. quitting is. And from that day on, no matter how hard it felt, no matter how slow he had to go, he kept moving because he knew